Am I the butthole for letting my sister adopt my unborn baby rather than a friend who wants a baby? This is a little complicated. My girlfriend and I are 19, and despite all the protection we use, she still somehow got pregnant. My older sister, 34, practically raised me. Our parents were absent most of her childhood and all of mine. Our older brother looked after us. Anyway, I literally call her mom, we're that close. She calls me her firstborn. She's got 3 legal sons, all adopted. They're basically my younger brothers and I love them to death. So naturally I called her when we found out about the pregnancy. She calmed us down and explained our options. We knew we did not want to be parents, but my girlfriend said she didn't really want an abortion but didn't want another child to go into the system. Anyway, scheduled an appointment to get the baby vamoosed, when my sister called again. She said she would adopt our baby if we really didn't want to go through with the abortion. Yada yada, that was like 3 months ago. A few friends started asking about names last week when we eventually told them, and we basically explained that we weren't keeping the baby. A friend of ours, 21, has been trying for a baby with her husband for like 2 years. We knew, but didn't think much of it. She contacted us asking what we were doing with the baby. I explained that my older sister was going to adopt them. I guess she found my sister through my Instagram or something and angrily messaged us that she already has 3 kids and we should think about mothers who can't have children and want one. At this point we realized what the issue was and I explained that her children were adopted and she hasn't had them as babies, and we want to keep baby in the family. She didn't reply, but one of her and my girlfriend's mutual friend messaged me asking if I'd reconsider. I told her no, this baby was going to my sister. Messaged me, again, and basically said it was so hard to find a white baby and practically begging to reconsider. I'm biracial, white passing. My sister is not. I got angry and told her I didn't want some white girl stripping another child of their culture, sent her on her way. It's divided our friends. Some think that she was racist, and some think she's just desperate for a baby. My sister says we can do what we want with the baby, but her home is always open. I think the baby should still go to my sister, but my girlfriend was really affected by EMS words and is concerned that we could be giving a young woman what she desperately wants. We have months to decide, but I'm torn. Am I the butthole? Not the butthole. Is for this. Messaged me, again, and basically said it was so hard to find a white baby and practically begging to reconsider. I'm biracial, white passing. My sister is not. You and your girlfriend should do what's best for the baby. No pity or guilt. What is objectively best for the child? I personally think that if your sister is as great as she sounds, it'll be best for the child and for you and your girlfriend if you decide to be a part of the child's life in the future with her approval. My sister is amazing. I love her so much, and I know the baby will grow up well loved. Sounds like a nightmare. Your sister sounds lovely and like the baby will be loved even if through a fluke of genes it doesn't end up being white passing. I wouldn't even call that a fluke. Black is beautiful. Original poster. Your friend sounds like she has some internal racism she needs to work out. She shouldn't have any children at all until she deals with this, and a POC/biracial child, even if they are white passing, should be raised in a household that embraces the generations of culture that came before them. Edit. Wow, Reddit. Thank you so much for the overwhelming positive response to this. I've never had anything of mine get this popular. I'm glad you guys found this tidbit out of my mind, hopefully, at least somewhat insightful. Also thank y'all for all the awards, kind internet strangers. Hugs to all of you. Black is 100% beautiful. I just think they meant fluke as in original poster is white passing and girlfriend is white, so in a lot of cases the baby would be white passing, but honestly that's not a guarantee and I wouldn't trust anybody who wanted a baby purely based on the fact that they might be white passing. I can't have bio kids, and my boyfriend and I have discussed adopting in the future. I know very well that the last thing that should be on someone's mind when adopting a child is what color their skin is. I agree with the commenters above me who say that has some deeply internalized racism. She is literally turning down children in need who may be perfect matches for her home because of the color of their skin. If you give your baby to this woman, she will most likely raise them with the same internalized racism, and she will without a doubt keep the child from learning about their heritage as a person of color. Not the butthole. Not to mention the fact that a lot of non-white kids adopted by white parents often end up confused and feeling left out of a culture they have a right to. They definitely deserve to be adopted, but there needs to be something in place, where parents and therefore the kids can learn about their culture. Just imagine if the baby comes out not white passing. Will M hand it back? No. And babies can take up to 6 months for their skin tone to fully settle, though you get a decent idea of color 2 to 3 months in. Is she going to give back the baby she has already bonded to if it turns out to not be white passing, or resent the kid for not turning out white enough? I'm still stuck on a 21-year-old trying to get pregnant for 2 years. With the way she's behaving, she needs to finish growing up before she raises another human being. Also, how long has she been trying to find a baby to even adopt, to even know how hard it is if she's been trying to get pregnant for the past 2 years since she was 19? Story either doesn't add up, or this girl is totally insane. I think she's insane. Yeah, a 21-year-old that's been trying for a baby for 2 years sounds like a horrible candidate to adopt, and what she said about how hard it is to find a white baby just confirms that for me. All of that. Plus, foster homes are full of older kids of all ethnicities who need homes, but of course M only wants a white baby. She sounds like a nightmare parent and needs to grow up before attempting to raise a kid. Not the butthole. That was my thought. She sounds like she is way too immature to be having a baby, very own or adopted. Even if all else had been equal, you had already made prior arrangements with your sister before M inquired. M's conduct, both the racism and the backbiting, raises multiple red flags. This isn't even a close call. Not the butthole. Also, if she's 21 and has been trying to get pregnant for 2 years, she got married at 19. Marriages for people that young often don't last. Quite frankly, she doesn't seem mature enough for a baby. It also sounds like if she's white and looking for a white baby, there's probably a good chance she's planning on lying to the child about where they came from, which would effectively cut original poster and girlfriend out of the equation for having any type of familial relationship with the kid. Not the butthole. Why would you even consider giving the baby to M after her outburst? She seems too immature to raise a baby. Let your sister have the honor. I mean, M is treating the baby as if it's candy. You've already got 3 pieces and I don't have any. I should be able to take that one. Not to mention racist as F. Let's hope she doesn't get to raise any babies. You can also probably visit the baby and develop a bond with the baby. With M, it sounds like she'll scurry away to her little hidey hole like a gremlin with treasure. Not the butthole. My sister says we can do what we want with the baby, but her home is always open. The difference in tone between your friend and your sister should tell you all you need to know about which home seems a better place for this child to be raised. These people are 21, they have time to figure something else out and aren't entitled to your child. Them even hinting at that concept is immediately disqualifying in my view. Your sister sounds like a saint. Not the butthole, but if you want to think about reconsidering, think about who M and her husband are deep down. Are they kind? Generous? Loving? The kind of people that you want to adopt your child if your sister wasn't in the picture? Your friend is racist and entitled. You'd be better off with her out of your life. Not the butthole. Genetics are a funny thing, so even if you are white passing, your baby might not be, especially as they get older. M was clear she wants a white baby, so what happens in the future if the baby isn't as white she expected? How would she treated the baby then? Even if you change your mind about your sister adopting the baby, I would recommend against M. She had shown you what kind of person she is with her behavior. She really online stalked and then harassed your poor sister, used emotional blackmail and manipulation to try to get her, etc. So believe it. This is seriously a huge reason not to let M adopt. Even if you are white passing, genetics are weird and your baby could end up darker skinned than you, which would be a huge problem if she has expressed a distaste towards non-white babies. Not only that, but even being white passing and having a racist mother sounds like a bad situation. This was my thought as well, especially considering original poster and his sister bother have different coloring. Assuming they have the same parents, it already shows that in their family your coloring can be different, so the friend shouldn't assume the baby will come out white passing. M's attitude also makes me concerned that she will not be telling the child that it was adopted, so the baby will grow up believing it is fully white. And if by chance the baby then grows up and have kids of their own, that racial heritage may resurface and wreak havoc on the relationship. It wouldn't be the first time someone accused a mother of being unfaithful because of how the baby looks, only to find out that one of the parents had those traits somewhere in the family tree but didn't know. I literally said, "Oh my God." When I read that part. I was already leaning not the butthole pretty heavily, but wow, Em really nailed that coffin shut good with that one hot damn. Not the butthole. Someone who wants to adopt a white baby but not a black baby doesn't deserve any baby. You also want to keep the baby in the family. It is your baby right now and will always be your baby, even when your sister takes over caring for them. It's great that you have the option to be able to keep your baby in the family so they can still get to know you and be a part of your family unit. Lamau explaining family history to this baby when they get older is going to be fun. I'm your older brother, dad and uncle. You shouldn't give the baby to your friend because she is literally racist and will probably raise the baby up with those racist views. Your sister seems like a great person who will raise the baby right, not the butthole. Also, it appears Em is completely unaware of how genetics work. A baby can have a white mom and a white passing, I hate that term, dad and still not look even remotely white. Not only would she raise the kid as a racist, I'm pretty sure she's the type who would ignore the kid when / if she has her own bio kids. I can't shake her being so desperate for a baby at 21. I can't help but speculate if she's attempting a baby band-aid for her marriage. Explaining those things to a happy, well-loved child won't be so difficult. Your sister is a fabulous parent and you will all stay close if she raises the baby you are having. Em would be my last choice. NTA. If you caved and let Em adopt the baby and he or she isn't, as, white presenting, racist, Em might very well become abusive. Please do not allow a racist and someone who's throwing temper tantrums and sending friends to attack you on social media anywhere near the baby. Ever. She's already proven that she'd be emotionally and psychologically damaging to a child. Kid's going to do a family tree project for school and it's just going to be a Christmas wreath. Lol, not the butthole. Keep your sister's baby out of the hands of a crazy person who is desperate at 21 and only wants a white passing child. She needs help that she won't get by having a baby to play pretend with. Good job on you and your GF approaching a difficult decision with conversation and mature thinking. I hope she has an easy pregnancy and birth and that the transition to your sister goes well. I've got a sister, cousin. If I've traced my family properly, it gets a little confusing. Lol, it happens. This is obviously more complicated, but being open and honest about it is definitely the best route if you choose to fill those roles. Or even just for the child's sake of clarity. I can understand it if they would prefer the child to look more genetically like them to avoid uncomfortable conversations with strangers, but to phrase it and mean it the way Op's friend did is icky. My thoughts exactly. There are plenty of reasons for people to adopt children from their own racial / ethnic background, one of which is definitely providing a sense of culture and understanding for the child racially. If a white family adopts a black child and has no idea what to do with their hair / has no idea they need to treat their hair differently, etc., that's not fair for the child. I'm not saying the alternative is to keep children of color in the system, but there are still reasons why people adopt within their own race and why certain agencies won't adopt children of color to white families. The only evidence I have of this is anecdotal, but you may be able to find something more official online. That being said, the friend is forgetting that this isn't really a white child. So to completely whitewash him / her is very gross and insensitive to the baby's identity and shows that they probably wouldn't be a perfect match with the baby anyway. It doesn't sound like this is the case with Em, but another reason someone might want to adopt a baby the same race as them is to preemptively cut off all of those unwanted talks with strangers. Why is your baby a different race to you? Blah 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 that, or they could have come across some particularly loud and rude people who accuse parents of being some white savior or something for adopting outside their own race. Raising kids is hard enough without having to deal with additional unwanted opinions. Em sounds a bit off, but none of us know for sure what her reasoning is. Or they just think it's better for black children to be with black families, which is an opinion I believe most research backs. Interracial adoptions come with a myriad of challenges that a lot of people can't handle or don't want to address. Recognizing that you might not have the tools to handle it is actually a wise and thoughtful decision, especially from someone attempting to become a parent. Doesn't seem like it's the case here, but I, as a white person, would hesitate to adopt a black child. Not out of desire for a white child, but a concern that I wouldn't be the right person to raise the child, to prepare them for the racism they would face, to help them emotionally through the inevitable internal and external conflicts that come with growing up Black in America, to connect them with their heritage. I'd certainly try, but ultimately I would never connect with them in the same ways a Black parent could. I haven't had those experiences and never will. That's not to say I wouldn't. I plan to eventually adopt an older child, and maybe a Black child will end up being destined to be a member of my family. But I would be very concerned about my own capabilities. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.